Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, the Chair will postpone further proceedings today on motions to suspend the rules on which a recorded vote or the yeas and nays are recorded, or on which the vote is objected to under Clause 6 of Rule 20. Recorded votes on postponed questions will be taken after 6:30 p.m. today. For what purpose does the gentleman from New Mexico rise?
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules and pass H.R. 4459.
The clerk will report the title of the bill.
Union Calendar Number 394, H.R. 4459, a bill to authorize the Secretary of the Interior, acting through the Bureau of Reclamation and in coordination with other federal, state, and local government agencies, to participate in the funding and implementation of a balanced, long-term groundwater remediation program in California and for other purposes.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend the remarks and include extraneous material on the bill under consideration.
Without objection, pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from New Mexico, Mr. Pierce, and the gentlewoman from the Virgin Islands, Mrs. Christensen, each will control 20 minutes. The Chair recognizes the gentleman from New Mexico.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the distinguished, wise, and principled Chairman of the Resources Committee, Chairman Pombo, as much time as he may consume.
The gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you, and I thank the gentleman for yielding. Mr. Speaker, in California's 11th District, the city of Morgan Hill and surrounding communities face a serious problem due to groundwater contamination with perchlorate. Hundreds of private and city-owned wells have been closed, and many residents are forced to rely on bottled water. To help remedy this situation, I introduced H.R. 4459, the Yagas Reclamation Groundwater Remediation Initiative. This bill would provide $25 million in federal funding to assist the Santa Clara Valley Water District's efforts to identify the scope of the contamination and begin a comprehensive long-term program to once again provide high-quality drinking water to the area's residents. This funding mechanism is based on a practical working model and currently underway in the San Gabriel Basin in Southern California. Everyone agrees on the need for safe drinking water for our communities. This bill reflects this consensus and puts words into action. It is my hope that this bill will act as a successful model for other areas of the country as well. And I urge my colleagues to support this important bill, and I yield back the balance of the time.
The gentlewoman from the Virgin Islands is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks.
Without objection.
And I yield myself such time as I might consume. Before I speak to H.R. 4459, I just want to also take this opportunity to recognize the opening of the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian, which will honor, memorialize, and teach the history and culture of the first people of this country, and to welcome their representatives here to the nation's capital. Mr. Speaker, on H.R. 4459, many communities in California and in fact throughout the nation are faced with the prospect of shutting down their drinking water supply wells because water has been contaminated with perchlorate or other chemicals. It's critically important that we provide assistance to these communities so they can clean up their drinking water supplies. H.R. 4459 will specifically provide assistance to communities in the Santa Clara Valley area of California. The Committee on Resources has also approved similar legislation, H.R. 4606, for Southern California, introduced by our colleague on the Resources Committee, Congressman Joe Baca. I support both bills, and I appreciate the support and leadership demonstrated by Chairman Pombo on this important problem, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from New Mexico is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I have no additional speakers and yield back or reserve the balance of my time.
I yield back the balance of my time.
Okay. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass Bill H.R. 4459? So many as are in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the Chair, 2/3 of those present having voted in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The gentleman from New Mexico is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules and pass H.R. 2663.
The clerk will report the